Today we will be building an explosion-proof 12 to 24 volt blue forklift light. The tools you will need is a Dremel with a cutting bit, a drill, an impact driver with a 1/2 inch tip, a hand driver with a 1/2 inch tip, a micrometer for measuring, a 3/8 wrench, snippers, a number 3 tool, Phillips head screwdrivers, an Allen head set, strippers, a flathead, and a razor knife if needed, as well as a 1032 tapping bit, 1164 drill bit, a 9/32 drill bit, and a 6/32 tapping bit. To start out, we take our Larson blue forklift light and we remove the screws. Using your number 3 hand tool, we'll remove the set screws that's holding the light together. There's 4 of them. Removing the cap. We'll go ahead and remove the mounting bracket because we will not be needing this. I just put it back in the box along with the cover. To cut this, you'll be using your Dremel. I cut right along this line right here. There's a small line right there that you follow with the Dremel. Starting your Dremel. Your lid will come right off. Now we need to get to the screws that are in here. Use a flathead screwdriver. Remove each tab because you will be using this again later. Set it to the side. There are 2 screws in here that you need to remove. After you remove the black lens cover, I'll leave the screws in for now and set them to the side. Next, we use our snippers to cut the black wire in the red, like so. Using a flathead screwdriver, you pry the board off without damaging the board. There will be heat displacement paste. We'll be using that later on too as well. Now we can go ahead and remove our solder and our wire. Now that the board is out, you can cut a little bit closer to the solder, making sure you do not damage the board. We go over to our soldering machine. You get your cord that comes in the box with the blue forklift light. We will go ahead and remove the red and the black wire. Sometimes they pull right out, like you're doing now. Set them to the side. Making sure that your tip is clean. Always having your sponge wet. You clean it off. We will go ahead and remove the solder that's already on there. This part right here is shared, this small capacitor right here. So be sure you do not damage the lead on that while you take your excess solder off. Sometimes you have to put a little bit of solder on there to remove it. There's some right here. Pull it up on your tip to remove the final wire and solder on there. Putting it back in its holder. We will cut a small bit of solder wick. You set the solder wick on top of your old solder. And it wicks off the old solder. After your old solder is removed, we'll get some new solder. Add a small pull on each spot. All right. Go into our wire. We'll go ahead and strip back a little bit more from both sides. We already have some stripped right here that will go right here, but let's strip the back end off. Give a little pull. Move on to the black wire, which is the negative side. Cleaning off your tip. Put it back in its holder. To test your solders, give them a good squeeze. If it's a weak solder, that one of them will break or they both will break. Always turn off your solder machine. This is an aluminum spacer that fabrication makes for us. It's 2" by 3" with a small indentation for our 1032 by 2" screw, which drops inside. There's a little bit of screw left right here. That's when we'll be using our micrometer to measure. So we'll have a good, accurate drilling on your 1164 tip. Turn it on. Make sure it's zeroed out. Using your bottom piece to measure how deep your screw is sticking out. This is 0.2130. I lock it down right here so it does not move. Setting it down. Go ahead and get a little bit of electrical tape so you can put a stopping point on your 1164 drill bit. Having your micrometer laid down. There's your measurement right there for your screw. And go ahead, put your bit on there, This just makes sure that you do not drill too deep into our HKB GL. Because if you drill too deep into it, it is no longer explosion proof. Double check your measurement, which is accurate. Remove the lid like always. Drop it into the box. Remove your paperwork. Set it back inside. Find the center of your box, your housing, I mean. Mark it. Using your 1164 that we've already pre-taped. Put in your drill. Put in your bit right where your marker is at. And start drilling. We've hit our tape, so we'll go ahead and reverse out. Dump our shavings. Your 1032 bit tap. You'll feel it stop. Reverse it slowly. Using your thermal compound, I just put a little bit at the bottom of your spacer. Set it to the side so it doesn't get messy. Drop in your spacer. Using your Allen head set, this will be a 5/32. Tighten it down. So your spacer does not move. Like so. That's what it will look like. You have thermal paste already on there, the bottom of your board. We'll go ahead and thread our wires through and make our marks for our drilling and tapping for the set screws for the board and lens. Get your board centered in using your black marker. Make your marks. Take your board out, let it overhang. Placing your LED lens in there in your HKB-GL housing. You make your marks so you can shave off so everything will fit nice inside of your housing. You're ready to go to the sander to knock away the corners. Using your sanding wheel, we will knock off our marks on our lens cover. Start lens right here at the bottom. Round off your edges. Turn it off. Remove any trash you have on the edges. Getting 832 by 3/8 bits. We'll be using them to set the lens, the cover, and your motherboard. A 1/2 inch just in case. After you have trimmed off all of your to fit, this should slide right in there like so. Now we remove the lid. Removing your lid, we'll drop in our 832s, drop your other screw in. After you put your board along with it, you'll get a measurement with the micrometer again. Zeroed out. We will get our length we need to drill. This would be 0.2160. Lock down your measurement. Put it to the side. We will measure out 2160 on our bit. Put your tape down. The tape is just a visual for you to stop when you drill. This helps you out a bit better. Double check your measurement. It's correct. Unlock your micrometer. Put your bit in. Locking it down. Get on your mark and slowly start your drilling. Get on your second mark and drill out this one. Knock out your shavings. Getting an 864 tap. Add a little bit of tap magic to it. So drop a B. We'll go ahead and thread out our holes. After you have your holes drilled out and tapped, put your 832 screws in, your lens, Put your light in. Sometimes you have to trim off your edges, like in this case. Make sure you avoid breaking the leads on the board. Match your holes up. In this case, I'm going to put a little bit more paste on there. Using your thermal paste. Go ahead and put a little bit in the center to help you hold it while you put your screws in. This also helps the heat transfer from the LEDs throughout the light. Clean off your lens. Smart to have a towel, but I'm using my shirt. Drop that to a spot. Using a 964 Allen head, tighten down. After your screws are set, put your lens cover back on. Double check your tightness on it. Put it on. Making sure that your lid has a tight seal, which it does. And go ahead, tighten up our set screw. Using a 5/32 Allen head. Tighten it, but not too tight because the screws can break. Go ahead and remove our label.
Just saying that they ran the car for that. They're running the car for that much and they bleed tons.
Getting your hardware out of the bag. Let's go ahead and set it all out. 5/16. Put a washer on. Each one. Match your trunnion together. Getting it started by hand. Move on to the other side. Getting your impact, the 1/2 inch on. Move to the other. Put your washer on. Along with your now-lock nut. Put your ratchet, the 1/2 inch bit on. Tighten it down. Move on the other side. To your 1/2 inch tapping tool. Put it in your drill. Tighten it down. Like always, a little bit of tap magic. Stop right about there. Back it out. Let's go for the other side. Stop right about there. Back it out. Just pour in your screws. Put your washer on. Each one. Flip it over to the side. Using a 361 Allen head. Go Go ahead and tighten it down. Nice and tight. Both sides. Clean it off as good as you can. Get your screws. Put a washer on each one. Thread one through. Drop you a washer. Drop you a washer. Get your 3/8 inch. And a 5/32 Allen head. We'll go ahead and tighten it down. Making sure they're nice and tight. Making sure your label matches your part number. Making sure it's all nice and clean. Always making sure that it's even. Put your personalized sticker on there. Mine's A11. Final thing before testing and calling QC, we will label the wires. 12 volt, red is your positive, black is your negative. Typing 12/24V, positive for the red positive wire, DC for direct current, 12/24V, with 4 spaces in between, plus for your positive side, direct current, hit print, gray button cuts it, fold it in half, you just go back next to your V, put a minus for the negative, 12/24V negative DC, 4 spaces, 12/24V negative DC, push print, cut it, fold it in half, after your wires are labeled, you can go to a 12 or 24 volt DCP. Red goes to red, black goes to black. You know, it works. Getting on your radio, you call somebody from quality control to your area. Can I get somebody from QC to the conference room? Plug it. Plug it back up. Check the sticker.
24 or 12?
It's 1224, it doesn't matter.
1224.
Check both sides of the labels. Black is your negative, red is your positive. DC for a direct current.
You get a picture of the DCP showing the input voltage.
Yep. This will be your output. 12 volt output.
Good to go.
Thank you, sirs.
All right.
We'll clean it up. I'll have it to y'all's area here shortly.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. After quality control, videos, your product, taking a cloth, clean up everything on here, making sure it's presentable, inside and out. You'll take it to QC. After a peer review, you'll be good. That's how you build an explosion-proof blue 12 or 24 volt forklift light.